Hello, you are welcome to another series on successful Nigerian entrepreneurs, how to plan, start, and grow your business. It has been amazing, and this has been 3 weeks already. We have discussed so many valuable things, and if you haven't seen previous chapters, check on the videos before this one. You're welcome to today's, and we're going to be discussing, yeah, you got it right, chapter 3. And chapter 3 is about business planning, all about business plan, what the contents of your business plan should be, how it should look like, how it should sound like, and subsequently would be having a practical after this session. So yeah, let's ride on. So let's dive straight into it. The title of our chapter today is business planning, and we're going to go into the details of what a business plan is. Simply put, it is having a roadmap for your business. It is putting down everything you expect to happen to your business in your mind on a paper. Now it goes down into the most littlest details, from the name of your business to the grand details like the sales you are going to be converting into the personnel you're going to be needing, and every single thing that is going to be much needed for your business to succeed when it's eventually up and running. So the business plan is such an integral part of your entrepreneurial journey. Having a business plan helps you clarify your ideas, helps you identify potential challenges, and helps you develop a solid strategy for success. And this cannot be overlooked if you know you want to be a successful man or woman in the entrepreneurial space. As a matter of fact, there is a research by Smedan, or a survey, whatever you choose to call it, that shows that 20% of small scale businesses in Nigeria are the only ones who actually have a plan. Now, this tells us that it doesn't really matter how small your business or your startup looks, but in the long run, you are hoping to scale up, you are hoping to be somebody big someday. So, this translates into ensuring that while you are hoping to grow big, you have to have structures that ensure that you are growing in the right direction. And how better to do that than a plan? As I've earlier said, it is a roadmap. So, when you have a roadmap, you're able to tell when you're on the right track or when you've derailed or when you're taking turns that you should not be taking. So, you cannot underlook the importance of having a business plan. Now, quickly, let's go into the details of what the contents of a proper business plan should look like. Now, before we continue, you have to keep in mind that 50% of businesses with a good business plan succeed. So, yeah, put yourself ahead with that. Now, let's quickly go into the contents. When I'm about to have a business plan, what should I expect to have in there? A cover page. Yeah, of course. And that cover page is the first page that typically describes who you are, the dates, the details of your business, like the name of your business, your mission, your vision, the date that it's opened, your location. So yeah, just think about it as a project cover page, because again, I called this an NYSC series, and we all have an idea what a cover page should look like in your project. So something like that. Now the next point is a table of contents. Of course, you know what that should mean. It should tell where to find what in that business plan. So yeah. Then there should be an executive summary. And this is the brief overview of your business plan. It should be summarizing your mission, your business goals, your financial projections, your marketing strategy, your market analysis, and everything in between. It should be concise, don't make it too bulky, and then it should be compelling because it should provide a clear direction for what your business is. So if I am looking at your executive summary, I should be able to tell that, okay, this is what this guy is up to, or this, okay, this is what this lady is up to. So don't make it too ambiguous. It is a summary of the entire plan. So let's just think about it as the abstract. If I should pick it, I should be able to know your chapter 1 to 4. Yeah, because all of us are graduates. Now, the fourth one is your company description. This should be able to tell us who you are, who your company is. Tell us you are so, 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 and so, and this is what you do. 2 should contain your mission, broadly stated. 3 should contain your vision, broadly stated. It should also contain your core values. This is what you go by: quality, integrity, discipline, whatever it is, whether it's a product or service, you should have core values, because again, you don't just want to practice business randomly as it comes. No. And then there should be objectives. It should be what you're considering to do. Are you considering to expand your product range? Are you increasing customer satisfaction? What are you doing? What are the objectives? What do you hope to achieve? It should also have a legal structure. Have you been registered with the CAC? That is very, very important, especially for a thriving business in Nigeria. You must be registered, because if you are thinking about something scalable, it should be something that does not just end at your doorstep, if you get what I mean, sir. So you should have a legal structure. You should be registered with the CAC. And who are you registered as? As a limited liability company, or as whoever. Just let it be seen in your company description. Then the ownership, is it joint ownership? Is it personal? Is it whatever it is? You should write it there, and then where it's located. Very, very important. The next point now is market analysis. This is so deep and intense, because this is the part where you do a research. Study your target market. Encompass your customer demographics. Who are they? Who are your competitors? And what are the industry trends in your industry? Because again, this goes a long way to show that, yeah, you have actually studied what this business is. And that helps you to program what your scalability and growth will look like in a short time. Having an idea of who your competitors are also puts you ahead, because now you are aware of, okay, this is who they are and this is what I'm up against. I hope that you're learning a lot in this. And again, you have to include the column for your product and services. Now, what this is tell us what products and services does your company offer. For instance, if it is bread you sell, okay, is it only bread, or you're going to add butter, or maybe it's small chops you sell? Are you going to stick to puff puff, or are you going to add other things on your inventory? Now you have to include the products and services. If it's a tangible product, fine. If it is a service, great. What kind of services are those that your company offers? Now you have to highlight the features of your products and services. What is it that makes it different? You have to also provide your unique value proposition, and you have to include your pricing. Include your pricing. Very, very, very important. You have to include all of those important things. Now, if you're wondering what your unique value proposition is, because I mentioned it earlier, it is a clear and compelling statement that explains exactly who your product is for, how it solves their specific needs, and how your business is their best choice over your competitors. Again, you see why it is important to carry out a market analysis, because how else are you going to tell us your unique value proposition if you do not know what the market outside looks like? So it has to be that you're offering your customers something, because again, you do not just want customers who come and buy once and go. You're looking to be able to retain them. Now your product or service should have the capacity to offer them something that no other person is offering them in the way you're offering it to them. That is one of the ways to guarantee that these people would stay. So yeah, customer loyalty is something that you do not want to play with. Now you have to have a budget. A budget. We cannot overemphasize this, but it is highly important. And it involves forecasting your revenue sources, e.g., your sales, your loans, investments through equity, personal savings, etc. Manage your allocation of funds. Okay, this is what we have coming in, and how are we going to be able to properly utilize these funds to giving us the results we want. Now you have to go deep into this, and I know sometimes it is quite tedious, especially for people who do not have a background in commerce. But even in basic mathematics, you have learned how to be able to do these basic things. But if you feel you need the help of somebody who has already been in business, it is also good to do it. It's just knowing, okay, this is my fixed cost. A fixed cost is something you know that, okay, you can predict this. For instance, the price in your shop, the utility bills, they could be fixed for a certain amount of time. I'm not saying they would always be fixed, but at least it is predictable. Then you talk about your variable expenses, expenses that you do not really have control over. For instance, if you run a business that requires you uh, to get raw materials, you are going to encounter fluctuations in market prices depending on what is happening to the economy at the time. So you have to keep that in mind. Also keep in mind your profit margin. Also keep in mind your monthly income, and then your backup funds in case of emergency. Where do we fall back to? Because you do not want to be a reckless business owner, you do not want to be a reckless entrepreneur. You have to have contingency plan. If things go south, where do you fall? How is your fallback plan like? Please keep this in mind. Now, to the next point, it's your organizational and management plan. Now, this has to go from the founders to as little as the cleaning and maintenance crew. Now, these people are not little if you really look at it, because if you want your space to be functional, you really, really have to have these people who keep it clean for you. Now, what your organizational and management plan is, it shows the hierarchy of your company. Who comes after who? What comes after what? And that is highly important. It also largely pays attention to your human resource, again, because if you want a thriving business, you have to have a thriving workforce, and this does that for you. So yeah, it's so important. You have to put this up, and then you pay attention to it so much. And on to the next point, which is the operational plan. How do we intend to run daily? Now, this cannot be overlooked, because you cannot just come into a space, especially because you want to scale up. I know for the last point I've just mentioned, the organizational and management plan may not be applicable to you now, because probably you're running your business as a one man squad. But that is why it starts from the founder. So you could have a plan. Remember, the vision is your entrepreneurship, startup, whatever should be scalable, and you're thinking long term. So have that plan, and when this begins to happen, you're not just caught up in the fix and wondering where next to go from here, okay? So pay attention to that. Now, your operational plan is the details of how your business will operate from day to day. What happens every single day? Quality control, production process, day to day operations, business hours, and operation hours. Very important. Very, very, very important. So, put that into high consideration. Now, the next is your risk management. As I earlier stated, that you cannot just be doing business carelessly. That is why you need your SWOT analysis. You should be able to tell us what your strengths, your weaknesses, the opportunities you have, and the threats that are being posed at your business are. Now, when you're able to do that, it shows how secure and grounded you are, because you are a realistic entrepreneur, meaning that you have been able to really assess the market you're getting into, and you've been able to identify that this or that could be a problem. Now, this puts you a step ahead, because somebody who is able to identify threats should surely be able to fortify himself against the occurrences of those. So yeah, it is highly important that you do a risk management. You have to identify, access, and mitigate potential risks against the success of your businesses or business, whatever is applicable to you. So very important. Now you have to have a financial plan. A financial plan and a budget, they work hand in hand, but they are not exactly the same things. It is a comprehensive financial projection. It should cover capital requirements to cover your infrastructure, your operations, your deliveries. It should also include cash flow statements and balance sheets, your profit and loss. Every check and balance should be included in your financial plan. So you should have a financial plan that covers your cost of components. I earlier mentioned that if you run a business where you require raw materials, you have to have a cost of components. Or if you are doing a CAC registration, or you need furniture, or you're renting a space for your business, all of those things are highly, highly, highly important. Now, also, you have to pay attention to your cash flow statement. Where does money come from? What is your cumulative net cash flow? You have to put it in mind. Then you have to also project your profit and losses. Your profit and losses. Finally, you have to have your conclusion. Your conclusion should reiterate key points from your business plan. Again, I stated that we'll be having a practical on how to actually write a business plan soon on this channel. So this is very important to keep in mind. So you also have to keep in mind that your business plan is just like your business CV. Yeah, it is how you sell your business to investors, to people who you're looking to get loans from, to organizations like Smeden, fintechs, to anybody you wish to partner with. Your business plan is your business's CV, so that is why you have to pay attention to it, and you have to be honest, because you do not want to write things in your business plan that are not consistent with who you are, what your values are, or what your business represents. Everything you're writing in your business plan should be in tandem with who you are, your core values, your mission, vision for that business, and the quality and the uniqueness your business brings to its target audience. So you have to pay attention to all of this. Now, thank you so much for being with us. You should not have had missed chapter 1 and 2, but if you have, you should check in the comments, and you find attached the links to get back and just brief yourself on the things that we have stated. Now, shortly attached on the slide after this, you would see the key points on what your business plan should contain. And see you at the next one. Thank you. Bye.